Isang mapagpalang araw, my dear students. So this is the fifth no? The fifth video of a six-part video lessons on data management. So this video is about measures of central tendency. So yun yung ating pag-aaralan ngayon. Let me share with you the screen. So I hope you'll be able to see the screen clearly now. So, again, measures of central tendency. Ano ba yon? So, it's a numerical descriptive measure which indicates or locate the center of a distribution of a set of data. It is any single value that is used to identify the so-called center of the data. It is often referred to as the average. So, kaya nga central tendency. So, gitna. There are normally three measures of central tendency. So, i-discuss natin bawat isa. But before that, let me introduce with you summation notation. Okay, ano ba yung summation notation? Suppose that a variable x is a variable of interest and numbers of measurements are taken. So the notation x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub n will be used to represent the end observation. Ano yon? Halimbawa may 6 scores ka sa exam. So yung 6 yung n, no? Ah, x sub 1, x sub 2 hanggang x sub n. So, yung scores ng anim na exam na yon. Okay? Where n is 6. Okay? So, the Greek letter sigma indicate the summation of, thus we can write the sum of the observations as follows, no? So, yung 6 scores in statistics exam, for example. So, summation of x sub I when I ranges from 1 to n. That is equal to x sub 1, x sub 2, plus x sub 2 plus x sub n. So, yung score, yung first score, second score, plus the sixth score. The numbers 1 and n are called the lower and upper limits of summation respectively. So, yung nasa baba ay equals 1. So, yung 1 yung lower limit, yung n yung upper limit of the summation. So, for example, write out the following in full, that is without summation sign. So, summation of x sub I when I equals 1 to 5. So, x sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus x sub 3 plus x sub 4 plus x sub 5. So, yung mga values, sa substitute mo lang dyan. So, summation of the product, x sub I, y sub I, when I equals 1 to 4. So, x sub 1 times y sub 1 plus x sub 2 times y sub 2 until x sub 4 plus x sub 4 times y sub 4. So, ano-ano yung mga rules on summation? So, merong tatlo. The summation notation is distributive over addition. That is, the summation of x sub I plus y sub I when I ranges from 1 to I, when I equals 1 to n. Sensya na, may sakit si ma'am. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Summation of x sub I when I equals 1 to n plus the summation of y sub I when I equals 1 to n. So, i-add mo lang yun. If c is a constant, then the summation the product c x sub I when I equals 1 to n is simply this, no? So, you can take out the constant and then get the summation and then multiply. If c is a constant, then can just multiply the constant c with the upper limit of the summation. So, ito yung example. Summation of 2x sub I plus 3 when I equals 1 to 4. So, i-apply lang natin yung bawat rule. So, finally, we have 2x sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus x sub 3 plus x sub 4. Kalimutan ko kunin yung time. Plus the product of 4 and 3. So, that is 12. Okay? So, yun. Meron akong separate video on summation. Hanapin nyo na lang. At basically, ito lang naman yung kailangan natin para hindi kayo nagugulat sa ano ba yung symbols na yun. So, yan, pwede nyo na lang gawin. So ito, so as I mentioned earlier, there are three no, measures of central tendency. So this is the first one, which is called the arithmetic mean. So the most common average, and sometimes referred to as the mean. So see, arithmetic mean or simply the mean. Ano yun? Sum of all the values of the observation divided by the number of observations. So napaka-straightforward niya, no? I-add mo lang, tapos i-divide mo sa number of observations. So yung mean ng population, so ang population ay denoted by capital N. I can't find the corresponding capital N. So yung mean ng population ay denoted by the Greek letter mu. Okay? Yung mean naman ng sample, di ba kumuha tayo ng sample sa population? Yung mean ng sample ay denoted by X bar. Okay? So, yung mu sa population, yung X bar sa sample. So, paano kinukuha? So, yan, gagamitin na natin summation. Summation of X sub I when I equals 1 to N divided by the total number of observations. So, paano kumuha ng arithmetic mean for ungroup data? So, for example, the number of employees at 5 different fast foods are 11, 11, 10, 15, and 13. So, find the mean number of employees for the store. So, we simply use the formula X bar is equal to summation of X sub I when I equals 1 to 5 divided by 5. So, i-plug in lang yung values. So, 11 plus 11 plus 10 plus 15 plus 13 divided by 5. So, that's 60 upon 5, 12. So, yung mean number of employees is 12. So the scores in the first long quiz, for example, of 6 students are as follows. So what is the mean? What is the mean score? So X bar is equal to summation of X sub I when I equals 1 to 6 divided by 6. So you plug in the individual scores divided by 6. So that's 516 divided by 6. So 86. So hindi naman nag-appear yung 86, di ba? Pero yun yung uh, yung center ng mga statistics score. So, the mean, arithmetic mean ay 86 pala. So, ano naman yung weighted mean? The weighted mean is a method of calculating the mean in which each observation in the data set is assigned or multiplied by a weight. So a weighted mean is the average in which each quantity has a designated weight on the total value of the average. Okay? So, anong example nito? Yung grade, yung paano natin kino-compute yung grade nyo? Yung score nyo sa quiz, halimbawa, ilang percent? Yung score nyo sa attendance, ilang percent? Yung score nyo sa final exam, sa major exam, ilang percent? Seat work, and so on. Yun, no? So, you just multiply each value by the corresponding weight, then divide the sum of the products by the sum of the weight. So, that's X bar is equal to the summation of the product WI or the weight and X sub I or yung score when I equals 1 to N divided by the total weight. No? Yun. So a student receives equivalent grades in quizzes of 74 and 81 and the final exam score of 83. Seatwork scores of, ayan yung mga scores niya. If each quiz is worth 20% of the final grade, seatwork is worth 5% of the final grade and the final exam is 35%. What is the student's mean score? So, plug in mo lang dun sa formula, no? Yung yung quiz niya, score niya ay 74, yung isa 74, so times 20%. Yung score niya 81 times 20%. Then plug in mo yung score sa mga seatworks, tapos multiply mo sa 5% bawat isa, no? And then yung final exam score of 83 multiplied by 30%. So, ang 35% ay 0.35, yung 0.05, napapalitan nyo muna. Tatanggalin yung percent sign divided by 100%. So, ang mean score ng bata ay 81.4. No? So, yan. Yung baka, kunwari yan yung grade niya sa ano bang subject? So, sa Math in the Modern World, for example. So, the student's final grade is 81.4. Paano naman pagka frequency distribution, so group yung data, paano kinukuha yung mean? So, approximating the mean from a frequency distribution, this is possible only when the class mark can be assumed to be representative of all the values in the class. If the assumption holds, then we may approximate the mean from a frequency distribution using this formula. So x, or the mean, is equal to the summation of the product of x sub I, f sub I, x sub I, and divided by n. So ano ba yung f sub I? Frequency of the ith class. X sub I is the class mark of the ith class. Ano yung class mark? Natandaan ninyo yung video on frequency distribution. No? Class mark yung uh, mean nung lower limit, upper limit. No? So, lower limit, upper limit divided by 2. So, ito yung example natin na last time, no? Using the data from the previous example, no yun, scores in the first quiz in elementary statistics of 50 students, no? What is the average score of the 50 students? So, again, yung formula ay summation of f sub I, x sub I divided by n. So, eto marunong na tayong gumawa nitong mga class interval na to, no? So, ayan yung frequency. So, there are 50. Yung class mark, again, 20 plus 24 divided by 2. Tapos, imumultiply mo lang yan. Mumultiply mo. Ito yung product nila. And then, you will add. And then, the sum will be divided by n. Okay? So, 1,925 divided by 50, that's 38.5. So, yung average score of 50 students in the first quiz is 38.5. So, ano yung masusurmise natin dito? Dapat marunong tayo gumawa ng frequency distribution table, no? Kasi pag mali yun, edi mali na yung column na to. Ano yung mga properties ng mean? Okay? The sum of the deviations, hindi ko naman natin tinuro yun. Standard deviation, no? Mean is 0. It can be calculated for any set of numerical data. So always exist. A set of numerical data has one and only one mean. It lends itself to higher statistical treatment. So yung mean, pwede mo pang gawan ng higher statistical treatment yon. It is the most reliable since it takes into account every item in the set of data among the three measures of central tendency. However, it is significantly affected by extreme or deviant values. Okay? And it is only used if the data are interval or ratio. And when the data set is normally distributed. So, ititest mo muna yung kung normally distributed ba na na-attain ba niya yung normal distribution before we can use the mean. Okay? Second measure of central tendency is called the median. Ano yun? Positional middle of an array. So, yung nasa gitna talagang position. So, one half of the values precede the median and the other half follow it. So, it is denoted by M sub D. And to calculate it, we just arrange the data in the array. Okay, so let x sub I be the ith observation in the array. So, yung I is equal to 1, 2, and no? So, paano yun? If n is odd, the median position equals n plus 1 divided by 2. So, kunwari, 7 yung measure observations mo. So, 7 plus 1 divided by 2. Yun yung titingnan mong value. The value of the observation in that array is the median. If n is even, ano yun? So you get the two middle values and then divide by 2. Okay? Ano yun? Example, find the median of the given data set. Ito for ungrouped data. Pag binilang mo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, odd siya. So you just use this formula. ano muna yung ginagawa? Ina-arrange, no? In increasing order. So, hanapin mo yung pinakamaliit. No? I-arrange mo lang. So, we have 10, 11, 13, 10, 11, 11, 13, and 15. I can find the cursor again. Yan. Then, you just plug it in the formula. The median is X. 5, ano yung 5? There are 5 observations plus 1 divided by 2. So, ang median natin ay yung x sub 3 or yung third observation. So, di ba, in-arrange natin. Ano yung third observation? 11. So, the median is 11. So, for example, yung scores 88, 87, 90, 94. So, i-arrange natin ulit dahil even number yan, no? 2, 4, 6, 6 yung observation. Anong gagawin? So, yung gitna, no? 6 divided by, di ba 6 yan? 2, 4, 6. 6 divided by 2, and then 6 divided by 2 plus 1. So, x sub third. So, ano yung kukunin mo? Yung third observation and fourth observation divided by 2. So, third and fourth observations. Okay? So, ano yung third observation? Ito, 87. Ano yung fourth? 88. So, 87 plus 88 divided by 2. The median score now is 87.5. How do we get the median from a frequency distribution? Ito naman, yung formula, no? It is possible only if it can be assumed that the values of the observations falling in the median class are evenly spaced throughout the class. Ano yung median class? The median class is the class containing the median. And paano yun? Starting from the top, locate the class with less than cumulative frequency, no? Greater than equal to n over 2 for the first time. Alam nyo naman na yung ibig sabihin ng less than cumulative frequency. So, ito lang yung formula. So, the median class is equal to the lower class boundary of the median class plus the product C times this quantity and over 2. So, yung observation minus the less than cumulative frequency of the median class minus 1. Ibig sabihin, ito yung median class mo, yung nauna sa kanya, no? Nauna, preceding median class, divided by the frequency of the median class. Ayan na yung mga definition. Lower class boundary of the median class, class size, total number, ayan, less than cumulative frequency of the class preceding the median class and frequency of the median class. Example, ito yung ginamit ulit natin, no? So, ayan, daan ninyo. Ito yung frequency, ito yung less than cumulative frequency, yung previous example din natin to, no? Kukunin natin ngayon yung median class. So, ano yun? Determine the median class by dividing the total number of observation by 2. We have 50 observation divided by 2, so 25. Nasaan ngayon siya? So, pag tinignan natin, andito siya, no? Andito siya sa interval na 35 to 39. Diba? Kasi 25 nandito siya. So, ito ngayong interval na to ang median class. Okay? Ang kukunin natin ay yung preceding. Kaya itong 16, no? To. Tapos, ano yung frequency ng median class? 11. Tapos, ano yung boundaries? 35 to 39. Tandaan nyo yun. So, ayan. 35 to 39, pero kukunin natin ay lower class boundary. So, ano yung lower class boundary? Minus 0.5, no? So, ang value ay 34.5. Okay? Class size 5 and 50, 16, di ba? Yung class before the median class 16, ang 16 siya. Okay? And then, frequency ng median class ay 11. O, ibalik natin. O, ayun. Ito yung median class. So, ito yung less than cumulative frequency, 16. Frequency ng median class, 11. So, i-substitute lang natin sa formula. Lower class boundary, 34.5, class size 5, 50 upon 2 minus 16 divided by 11. So, Ang median score ay 38.59. Di ba yung parang 38 something din naman yung mean. Okay? So, ang median score ay 38.59. Properties of the median, it is the score or class in a distribution below which 50% of the score fall and above another 50% line. It is not affected by extreme or deviant values. It is appropriate to use when there are extreme or deviant values. It is used when the data are ordinal and exists in both quantitative and qualitative data. So ito yung third or last measure of central tendency, tinatawag na mode. Okay, ano yun? It is the observed value that occurs most frequently. So, yung pinakamaraming beses na lumalabas, yun, mode. Locates the point where the observation values with the highest density. It does not always exist. No? If it does, kung nag-exist naman siya, it may not be unique. So, merong pwedeng dalawang mode, okay, or tatlo. Pag isa lang, unimodal ang tawag. Pag dalawa, bimodal. So on. Again, it's not affected by extreme values. It can also be applied to both qualitative and quantitative data. So, dito, for example, no, identify the mode or modes kung madami. Ah, ito for ungroup data. So, ano ba? Ayun, yung 2, no, yung palaging lumalabas. 2. Yan. So, 3 beses siyang lumabas eh. Yung 5, 2 beses lang lumabas. So, yung mode natin ay 2. Ito naman, data set. Ito yung mga observations. Parang lumalabas yung 2 ilan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times lumabas yung observation na score ay 2. Eh yung 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 beses din. So, dalawa ang mode natin, yung 2 and 5. So, both occurred 5 times. So, etong dataset na to ay bimodal. Ah, may dalawa siyang mode. Ito naman, so bilangin lang no, ano yung maraming beses lumabas. So, blue yung mas maraming beses lumabas. So, siya yung mode. Paano naman kung group data? Okay, so for group data, this is the formula. Lower class boundary of the modal class plus the product C, frequency of the modal class minus frequency preceding the modal class. I'm over twice F0 minus Fi, frequency of the preceding, and then minus frequency of the class following the modal class. Oh, yan, ayan yung mga definition. So, dapat alam muna natin kung ano yung modal class. Paano yun? Yun lang, pinakamataas na frequency. So, mas madali siyang ma-identify. Tingnan nyo lang, yung mga frequency, yung pinakamataas na frequency, yun yung modal class. So, ito yung modal class. Yung F sub I, yung frequency preceding the modal class. F sub 2, yung frequency after the modal class. Ayan. Tapos, ano yung boundary ng modal class? 35 to 39, yung interval. So, yung lower ay 34.5. Okay? So, yan. Na-identify na natin yung mga variables. We just plug it in the formula. And therefore, our modal, our score is 38.25. How do we interpret that? Most students got a score of 38.25. Okay? So that ends our lecture on measures of central tendency. So ano yun? Mean, median, mode. So I will end the recording now. I hope to see you soon. Bye for now, class, and please take care.